Welcome back. So we're getting ready to start the third session after intake with our patient John, who was diagnosed with panic disorder and agoraphobia. Hey John.
Hey, this looks different.
Yeah, so do you remember what our plan was for today?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I wanted to make sure we had enough room. And again, like I mentioned before, I'm never going to surprise something on you. I'm just going to talk to you about it before we have it.
Yeah, better to know what's coming, I guess.
So I just want to go over our agenda for today. So we're going to check in on your homework, review the in vivo, great, assignments, and reassign some new ones moving forward. We're going to review the rationale for the interoceptive exercises that we're going to do today.
Good motivation.
And then we're going to do them, right? And then we'll assign you homework as well.
Okay.
And just, I wanted to remind you, we have this 30-minute wiggle room today, right? So we scheduled for an hour and a half in case we need it.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, that'd be great if we don't, but yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that we're still on the same page with that too, and that that you remembered for work and everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's start with the homework. All right, so really quick, and I know you put it on your phone before, but do you remember your distress ratings, the SUDs, the anchors that we had from 0 to 100?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that wasn't too hard to use, like, over time.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that that's getting kind of ingrained
Oh,
in you.
sorry, I wrote them, 0 to 10, like, pretty close to the same thing.
Okay.
We just multiply by 10.
We'll just do that. All right. Okay, so let's go through with the exposures first. So these were, you agreed to 3 times to the movies with your wife,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so let's go through. So on the Monday.
Or it was Tuesday.
It was Tuesday,
We were trying
okay.
to go when nobody was around.
Oh, right, Monday was not going to be okay. What is that, 21 Bridge?
21
Oh, that's the movie.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's with the Black Panthers in it, the guy that played T'Challa.
Okay, cool.
It was kind of terrible, but a lot of explosions and stuff.
Okay, so your thoughts or your prediction was noise will be difficult, especially explosions and sirens.
Yeah, no, it was like a detective movie, so it was like a lot of sirens and gunshots and
Okay.
just chaos.
And so your SUDS rating before was a 70.
Yeah, no, I was.
So anticipation?
Figured it was not going to be super easy.
Okay. And did you go through and make sure you eliminated any of the safety behaviors we talked about?
Yeah.
So got the concessions ahead of time?
Yeah, no, I was ready to sit there and just, it was going to kill me. It was gonna kill me.
Okay, well, fair enough. All right. So before it was 70, and the peak anxiety during was 40.
Yeah, or I thought about it more like average anxiety.
Okay.
Like I kind of at first had a bit of a panic attack, but after that I was okay. I have a form on that.
Okay,
too.
great. We'll get to the panic record after. And you put what happened. Well, it was difficult at first,
Yeah.
and I did panic, but stayed put, and anxiety faded.
Yeah, sorry, my writing's terrible.
That's okay. Went through my whole blue slushy before the intro credits were done.
Yeah, I was just inhaling it. I was like, I can't leave. I gotta sit here. I gotta be here. So.
Okay, but you did it.
When I looked, it was all gone.
All right. And so about 2 hours you stayed, and then your anxiety rating after was a 20.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad at all.
Wait, so a 20 is lower than anticipation of lunch meetings.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, no, and by the third time we went, it was like I remembered why it's so fun to go to the movies again. Like we used to love doing that.
Okay. So, and we'll get to the third one, but the second one was Knives Out. Oh, I love Helen Mirren. I haven't seen that movie yet.
Yeah, James Bond was in it. Like,
Okay.
my wife picked it out. I was like, I guess if James Bond's in it, I can probably stand it.
Okay. And so your thoughts, this one won't be as bad. My wife picked it out, so I bet nothing will blow up.
Yeah, she doesn't go for those most of the
Okay.
time.
So in this one, your pre-SUDS rating was 50.
Mhm.
So we already see that went down a little bit. Maybe
Yeah.
because your wife picked it out, maybe. And so anxiety rating during was a 30.
Yeah, no, it wasn't bad.
After was a 10.
Yeah, it's fine. I was like, this is okay.
All right, so your comments. It was fine. Movie didn't ever suck. Or didn't even suck.
Yeah.
James Bond guy was kind of funny. Remember that this used to be fun and it can be again.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe you were getting some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it wasn't, I wouldn't go that far for the movie, but it was like if we were to see a movie that I picked out, then maybe it could be enjoyable.
So the next one, Jumanji. So is this a you movie?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
It's a kid's movie, but The Rock is in it, so.
Okay. And the thought that you put down, I think I'm good, mostly ready to smell what The Rock is cooking. Okay.
I love The Rock. Like, I could watch anything he's in.
Okay, so old school wrestling we're back to here. So your distress rating before was a 20.
Yeah, it was fine. It was more like fighting traffic than getting to the movie.
And the highest anxiety was 10.
Mm-hmm.
Post, you said 0.
Yeah, it was okay.
And with your suds rating a 0 is like if you're sitting at home alone with no noise.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. This was fun.
Yeah.
I love The Rock's movies. I need to remember to do this more often. Maybe think about trying Star Wars on opening day. Oh, Friday night, not Friday at 12:01.
Right, not like the night before, but the next night.
Okay.
I'm not gonna stay up long enough to stand in line with all of the geeks to do it at midnight.
But the fact that you're even thinking about this, I mean, look at how successful you were with, you started at 70.
Yeah.
And down to a 0.
Well, I've been thinking about Star Wars for 2.5 years.
Okay.
I really would like to see it the first day, if that's gonna be possible.
So going back to, this was fun.
Yeah, it was, and a little easier when you're not, completely overwhelmed.
Okay. And then you were on here, was this another exposure? Or?
Oh, well, sort of. I didn't know, I didn't really plan it, but, I kind of had a panic attack, got overwhelmed, just wrote it down.
Great. Okay, so this was,
yeah, sorry. My boss at work, he always asks me questions, and my job is
numbers monkey.
Yeah, numbers monkey. I kind of assume to answer from that perspective, but then he always gets mad when reality conflicts with his opinion, and then kind of takes it out on me. Just stop asking if you're gonna do stupid stuff. You're gonna just make it up and not look at data. Why do you involve anybody else?
Okay. So you put, I don't understand this. Just stop asking me stuff if you're only going to get angry about actuarial evaluation. I can't handle these conversations.
Yeah, no, it's just such a frustrating, anxiety-provoking waste of time. I get really worked up and didn't see it coming.
So did you do a panic attack record with that? Oh,
yeah,
you did? Great.
Yeah.
Okay, because that's what I was just going to ask you. So you said the trigger was argument-ish, or this kind of confrontation.
Yeah.
And you said unexpected. And you clarified the argument was unexpected, the panic attack not really.
Yeah, if you told me I was going in to have this conversation again and be irritated, then I probably would have expected it, but I didn't know that's what we were going to talk about.
So the fear was a 6.
Yeah.
Sweating, heart racing, the palpitations pounding, feeling dizzy or unsteady, lightheaded. Feelings of unreality.
Yeah, it always happens. It's sort of floaty.
And that's going to be one of the interoceptives we're really going to be able to target today.
Oh, good.
Okay. Thoughts? I can't do these kinds of things. Why does everyone here ask my opinion and then get mad when it's based on data? So are the physiological sensations making you think I can't do these kinds of things?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I get stupid. I either say something contextually inappropriate or antagonistic to people I shouldn't, or I just melt down and can't even form words. I don't have a great way to be successful in those situations.
And that makes sense. You know, a lot of times if we have the fight, flight, freeze system activated, right, that surge of panic, it's hard for our brain to function at full capacity in terms of thoughtful responses.
Yeah,
Okay.
very, very difficult.
And then your behaviors, attempted to talk and reason, ultimately gave up, and I told him to do whatever he wanted because that's what he always does. So this is probably the comment that you're speaking of.
Well, yeah, I took out all the expletives too. Like I was pretty angry, and you know, we go through this every couple months. You know, I ask about a important thing, and then you know, get mad and worked up, and just yeah.
Okay, so you said this happens every couple months. Is that something that we should add to the hierarchy? I mean, not that we want to put you in argumentative situations,
No,
but
I thought about that. That was the one thing that I was going to add. Is just
okay.
confrontation in general. You know, I feel my heart race and just get angry, and then you know, before I know it, I'm anxious
And it sounds like avoided or just kind of
yeah.
you know, walked away and said, do whatever you want, instead of maybe staying and trying to
Right.
have a different resolution.
No, I didn't think that was going to work, so
Okay.
it just was out.
So what would your SUDS level be for confrontations in general?
Oh, maybe like a 50.
Okay.
I mean, not as bad as some of the stuff we talked about,
But still gets you physiologically aroused in that panic mode.
yeah, these ones were worse. I mean, probably like 80, because just this is like 1,000th time it's come up. It's just more irritating.
Okay. All right, so that's something, and I added that to the hierarchy too. You also had, and this looks like it was with the first
The movie.
movie where you did have some panic, and so your trigger was Dolby noise before the movie. Okay, so that surround
Yeah, that
sound.
whoosh. It sounds, when it hits your ears, it sounds a lot like what the plane engine does when you take
Okay.
off. It's just for a minute.
So that similarity there.
Yeah.
And so you put that was unexpected,
Or
or
well,
no,
I was.
unexpected, but then you crossed that out and put expected.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I didn't think about it before we went into the theater, so in that sense, it was unexpected. But then
Okay.
when you compare it, it's like, well, yeah, of course that's.
It's similar to the plane.
Yeah.
Okay. So maximum fear was a 7 here. Sweating, dizzy and steady, lightheaded, feelings of unreality. Okay. Thoughts reminds me of plane engine, momentarily freaked out, momentarily.
Yeah.
But I knew I had to stay there. Okay. Behaviors, sit still. The rule was to suck it up, so I did.
Yeah.
And it went away pretty quickly.
It was faster than in the past. It wasn't. Yeah, I never got to a point that I thought I couldn't stay there. So it
That's
went
really
away
awesome.
Kind of fast.
Okay, that's just great. Okay, so how do you think your first experience with the kind of in vivo or the real life exposures went?
I mean, it was good. It was basically what you're talking about. You do more of whatever it is that bothers you, and it becomes easier.
Okay, all right. So with that, and I have your hierarchy here. The movies with wife. Initially, you had your SUDS rating at a 55. What would you say your rating would be now?
I have 10, maybe.
Okay. How about movies alone?
I don't know, maybe a little higher. 15.
Okay. And do you remember what your SUDS rating was for movies alone last time?
It was probably like closer to 60 or 70, I guess.
67.
Yeah. Oh, right. It was
So the
midpoint.
fact that right now you're saying it's probably a 15, like that's amazing. Okay. All right. And you said, when does Star Wars come out?
Friday, December 20th.
So is that something that you would like to add as?
Oh, yeah. No, I would definitely like to try that. And if you can make it homework, that would be lovely.
Well, that's got your homework form right here.
My wife has no choice at that point. Like, I'm sorry, it's written down as a rule, we have to go.
Okay. And you said you'd like to do it on not 12:01 on Friday, but in the evening.
Like maybe the 6 or 7 show, something around there.
Okay. So we'll put that as homework too, because, and with your wife or alone?
No, I'd rather she go, because I mean, it's going to be crammed with people. You know, the
Okay.
first 3 days, they'll be sold out like, you know, every time they show it.
Okay, so you might have some different thoughts there, and similar to the way you did it this last time, completing the exposure sheet again.
Yeah.
So we have that one. Do you think that we should add another one aside from the movies?
We could go see Star Wars a second time.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you're on track with the movies. The point that you're even seeing that it's, you know, this could be fun. I'm remembering why I enjoyed it before.
Yeah.
So I definitely want you to continue with that. But I think we might want to add a different thing from your hierarchy on it as well.
Okay.
So other things that you had, so gym, working out with friends, you have that at an 80 or 85. Stores, you have it about a 90 at daytime. We don't want to interfere with sleep, so we're not going to do the
Yeah, for the middle of the night, yeah.
and lunch meetings, and I don't know if those are ones that are assigned for you or ones that you assign.
Well, I mean, you can't do
Or
either.
schedule.
I don't ever go out of my way to get them, because
Mhm.
even if it's not anxiety provoking, it just wastes time. But,
Okay.
But I can. I mean, it's not hard to arrange.
So what do you think would be a good next step? Would it be arranging a lunch meeting, venturing out to the stores,
I mean, I think like,
gym?
yeah, if I could go, you know, on my own once, it might be like with the movies, you know, like
Okay.
the first time is a little weird, but then
Right.
you can do it. I'd really like to get back to that.
Okay. So what, thinking about going to the gym by yourself, what would your distress rating be?
I don't know, maybe 65.
Okay. And previously that was an 80.
Oh, yeah, no, it seemed much worse before doing all this stuff, for sure.
Okay. So what will the plan for the gym be then? I mean, is this going to be, are you a morning workout person, so you want to go before work? So no.
No,
So
I'm
when
too old. Sunday afternoon is usually like the least crowded, so, you know, my rule is I gotta stay there and flip out, then
Okay.
I'd rather have fewer people around.
Okay. So when on Sunday afternoon?
Maybe like 3:30.
Okay. And what are you going to do?
Well, at this point, probably just walk and maybe like curls.
Okay. So elliptical or the treadmill
Yeah, no, it's treadmill and
and curls.
I mean, I could probably do like a whole arm workout, just at least a couple exercises.
Okay. And how many times are you going to be able to do that between now and when I see you again? Because we know, you know, just to remember, we want you to have the experience to test what happens.
I mean, I could go
repeatedly.
again, I guess, on maybe Tuesday, like try to walk or run again.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that wouldn't be that hard. I mean, Friday, you're gonna see the movie, so already kind of tied up.
Mm-hmm.
My friends go like every day. It's a little tricky trying to dodge them in the week. You know, on Sunday they go in the morning because they watch foosball all day, and then like the rest of the week they're there
Mhm.
like all night, more or less.
Okay.
But I could do that. I could do that Tuesday.
Okay. So at least 2 times in.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll encourage you, if you can make it work, 3 times would be great, but
Yeah.
let's get you started and see. Any safety behaviors that we need to think about, or that you need to think about?
I mean, besides just leaving, I don't think so.
Okay.
Or I don't
Do
know.
we
I
have
mean,
a-
I guess like I picked arms because you can drop the weight. Like if my heart starts going and I panic, like I'm not pinned under it, you know, like you would be
Okay.
with a squat or a bench press.
Because I want to make sure that the exposures are safe.
Well, I mean, I'm not safe enough to do enough weight to hurt me. It's
Okay, because I don't know anything about weightlifting, so I'll put that right out there.
Yeah, I'm weak and will
Okay.
be able to roll out from under whatever.
Okay, so do we need to say a time for the treadmill? Like how long you're going to be on the treadmill, and then what type of...
Maybe like 30 minutes.
Okay,
And then maybe I could do bench instead. It's just a little scarier.
okay. But safe.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I can't do enough to hurt me. Just that was what came to mind was, like I'd rather not be under something if I freak out, because then I'll,
Okay.
think I'll be stuck.
Okay, so at least twice, maybe 3 times, you'll go to the gym. Right now you have it Sunday afternoon and Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna go on the treadmill for at least 30 minutes, and then you're gonna do something on the bench.
Yeah.
Okay. We went through safety behaviors. Great, so I'll have that, and when we go through the whole homework, or I can give it to you now.
Mm.
So beneath that also is just a couple of copies of a panic attack record for if you would experience any panic attacks over the next week.
Okay.
Just like you've been doing, filling out that panic attack record as well.
Yeah, and thank you for writing the name of the movie, because that's like, it's very specific.
Oh, for your wife?
Like not a movie, this movie.
Okay. Was she enjoying, like, did she make any comments about going to the movies?
No,
or-
she's one of these people that can watch anything, not really find it aversive, and as soon as we leave, if I ask her, what did we just see, she has no idea.
I mean more of the fact that you wanted to go to the movies.
Oh, like did she like spending time around me?
Or did she remark that, wow, we haven't been to the movies in
Oh, yeah,
a long
yeah.
time.
Yeah, and like by the end, this is getting better. That if you can do this, and what else could you be doing?
Okay. And in some ways, sometimes that outside data, if you will, that you're getting can be reinforcing too, or at least give you a different perspective as well.
Yeah, well, mine was more like I was a little sad because if she remarks on that, it means my behavior has been impacting her, and I kind of feel bad about it.
And I mean, it's something that you're more aware of, and I hope you see that you are making, actively making attempts to move forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I for sure can see that.
Okay, great. So what's next on our agenda here?
Yeah.
So tell me what you remember about interoceptive exposure and kind of the rationale for why we're going to be focused on that.
It's the same as like situations or context. It's like if it causes you anxiety or you freak out, then it's just another way to practice.
Right.
So it doesn't even have to be specific to where you are, just like what you feel.
And these exposures, they're really intended to help you understand more about your symptoms of panic, and to help you realize these sensations are not dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
I've said repeatedly, it's like our body's having this hiccup, this fight, flight, freeze response, when it's really not this saber-toothed tiger that we need to run away from. But they do still, induce maybe moderate to sometimes severe a sense of discomfort.
Yeah. No, I don't enjoy it.
Well, and it's natural we want things to be nice, right? We are comfortable. We don't want to feel uncomfortable. So it makes sense why these feelings evoke this, escape, avoid, let's get away from them. And when you do, in the short term, if we go back to that model of panic, in the short term, avoidance leads to that relief.
Yeah.
But it reinforces the dangerous beliefs about the panic or this, I'm going to lose control, or it's happening again, what ifs. And so, overcoming your...
I'll write that part down, the whatevs.
Which part?
Whatevs.
Whatevs. So overcoming your panic is really helping you, in some ways, do these exercises repeatedly to evoke these symptoms, to realize we can make these symptoms happen. It's just a hiccup in our body, and just because we're having that discomfort, that uncomfortable feeling, doesn't mean there's danger, doesn't mean we need to escape, avoid.
Yeah.
Okay. So questions about that?
Yeah, how many of these are we doing?
Well,
I'm
we're gonna-
not super looking forward to this part.
If you were looking forward to it, I would not be doing my job correctly because it would mean I didn't actually describe this well enough.
Yeah.
Okay. A couple of things I want to check in on before we get started. That I want to make sure. Do you have any? And I think I went through this with the initial, history, but any seizures or epilepsy? Okay, because some of the things we're doing could be problematic.
No,
for
nothing
that.
like that.
I know you've already been seen by a cardiologist with all that, so no cardiac problems are evident. Do you have any asthma or lung problems? Okay. Are you pregnant?
No, I
Just kidding on that one.
kind of look like it at this point, but no, no.
Any neck problems or back problems?
Yeah, I mean, my neck's been beat up. Like when
Okay.
I used to kickbox, like I had injuries, but it's not. I mean, it doesn't typically cause me problems.
Okay. And there's one exercise, I'll demonstrate it first, and if you think it's going to be a problem with your neck, we'll cross that one off the
Okay.
list. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is that I'm going to be demonstrating these different exercises. And the goal is that it's supposed to evoke sensations, right?
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
different for other, my experience might be different than yours. But as we go through, I'm going to ask you to let me know, the symptoms, the physiological sensations in your body,
Mhm.
and the thoughts you have related to the different exercises. And then I'm going to have you give me your SUDS rating. How distressing is that?
Okay.
And after we're done with the whole list of exercises, we'll come back and see how many are just uncomfortable and how many are actually related to the panic that you tend to experience.
Okay.
And from there, we'll get some specific interoceptive homeworks to start with.
Okay. So I get to do these at home. That's fun.
You will get to, and I like how you said get to. Absolutely. Let's
Mild sarcasm.
keep going. All right. So again, I'm not going to ask you to do anything I'm not going to do. So I'm going to model it first with you.
Okay.
And I have, some, we might say,
Props.
props, if you will. And I'm getting at my phone just so I can get the timer, because some of these are going to be brief exercises just to evoke the symptoms and see their similarity to your panic. Okay. All right.
She's
So the
already
first.
having a hard
I
time.
know. Okay. And so I see you have your water bottle, and I do know you've brought that to most sessions.
Mhm,
Would that be a safety to try to decrease symptoms?
I mean, not that I'm aware of.
Okay, so that's not something that you tend to do to decrease symptoms?
No, I've just done it since I was like in high school. Just drink water all the time.
Okay. All right, so then I won't ask you to remove that or to refrain
I
from.
won't lie about it. If I kind of determine that is the case as we go along, I'll
Then
stop
we'll
it.
eliminate that.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first one is over breathing. Okay, and so what we want to do, and I say we because I'm going to do it with you after I model it, is breathe forcefully, fast, and deep. Okay, so like we're hyperventilating in a way. And so for 1 minute, this is what we're going to be doing. And really start to evoke that. Okay. You can laugh, I know, it's funny, it looks funny, it sounds funny, and I'll try not to make eye contact with you when we're
Thanks,
doing
that's
this.
better. That's
because-
much less awkward that way.
Okay, so does that make sense for the hyperventilating breathing?
I think so.
Or the over breathing? I shouldn't call it hyperventilating breathing, but essentially that's what we're
Yeah,
doing.
you had to do it that fast. You can't just breathe deep.
No, forcefully, fast, and deep. Okay,
Okay.
we really want to evoke those symptoms. So we'll try to go for a minute. If we can't quite get that far, that's okay, but I want to make sure we're definitely getting those symptoms going.
All right.
Okay, you ready?
I guess.
Okay, you're like as ready as I'll ever be.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. Ready? Go. If you need to stop stop and catch your breath. I'm feeling a little dizzy, but keep going. Okay, I'm about ready to pass out, so I'm gonna take a second here, but as much as you can, keep going. Got 10 seconds left. Okay, we are at 1 minute. So tell me what you're experiencing.
It's like a whole body is just
Uh-huh.
pins and needles. Like, this sucks.
Yep.
And just immediately dizzy. Like, thought I was gonna fall out of
Right.
a chair.
I'm taking a moment too because I'm feeling a little woozy as I'm writing. So, pins and needles, body falling from chair.
Yeah.
I was feeling that tunnel, like my,
Yeah.
that, I'm having difficulty articulating words right now, but that kind of tunnel feeling.
It's so hard to catch my breath.
Yeah.
I start yawning. It makes it worse. Like, I want to drink my water. I think you were right about that.
Okay.
It's like you feel just.
It just kind of grows too, right? That difficult. So what thoughts were going through your mind too?
Like, why am I paying for this?
Okay, fair enough. Why am I paying for this?
Like, this is a whole lot like what my heart just does when had these things happen.
Okay.
Just like.
And 0 to 100 distress here.
I mean, it's not as bad as I thought. Like, I'm irritated more than I'm scared. Like,
Okay.
I know it can't hurt. It sucks. 40.
40, okay. How intense were the sensations?
Oh, like very.
Right.
95. I mean,
Okay.
very reminiscent of what I've been going through. Just, doing it on purpose now.
Right. Okay, so pins and needles, your body felt like you might fall out from the chair, difficulty catching your breath. I felt really flushed, like I already started sweating a little
You
bit.
look flushed too.
Okay. Did you have that experience or no?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what makes me so itchy is like you
Uh-huh.
can feel all the blood run to your head.
Okay. All right, so intensity about a 95, anxiety about a 40.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And so just catch yourself, breath for a moment. The next one we're going to do, if you'd like to grab a stirring straw. Okay. Almost like you have an idea of what might be.
Yeah.
What do you think we might be doing?
Breathing through it.
Okay. And so with this one, I want you to hold your nose while we're doing it, because we don't want to breathe through our nose, right? We want to, and you don't have to hold your nose as long as you can pinky promise you're not going to breathe through your nose. But we're gonna, and this one we're not going to try to hyperventilate in terms of, it doesn't have to be fast and forceful,
Okay.
just through your mouth and not your nose.
Okay.
Okay? All right, and whenever you're ready, we can go ahead and start. You good? Okay, let's stop there. What sensations did that bring for you?
It says my mouth is dry.
Uh-huh.
It says that I want to drink of water, but it's, you know, it's not like the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't, you know, get dizzy or itchy or feel my heart, you know,
Okay.
pound or anything.
So more dry mouth.
Yeah. Just gross. Just don't like it.
Okay. And sometimes that kind of breathing through the mouth can bring, for some people, the sensations of like something's caught in their throat, or they're having difficulty catching their breath in some way.
It wasn't bad.
Okay. So intensity of this one for you?
I not as much. 20.
Okay. How distressing was that?
It wasn't really. Just, I mean, I want to drink of water. That's it. Maybe 5.
Okay.
I mean, if you don't let me have a drink of water, eventually it'll get worse than that. But you know,
Yeah.
not now.
And right now, if you want to have a sip of water, that's fine. When we get to the assigning of homework, you know, kind of like what we talked about. If it's a safety behavior, we don't want it. Certainly this one, it dries out the mouth
Yeah.
for sure. Okay, so the next one, we're going to hold our breath.
Okay.
So I can model that for you, or we can just go to
No, I know how to do that one.
If you do need to breathe, just quickly take a breath and go back to holding it again.
All right.
Okay,
We're
ready?
supposed to do this for a
We're just
minute?
going to do this one for 30 seconds.
Oh, that's good, because I'm not in shape to do a minute.
All right, here we go. Ready? Go.
Okay.
30 seconds. Okay. So, symptoms.
Just itchy again.
Okay.
It's like I can feel my heart pick up.
Okay.
I used to have a friend who was a swimmer. He'd do this like 4 minutes. And
Right.
I used to be able to do a couple, like, but it just picks up a little now.
Okay. So your heartbeat increased. I felt more that sweaty heat.
Yeah.
Is that, I mean, you said itchy, so like
That
the,
happens every time too, like panicky. Just feels like my skin is on fire.
okay.
It is very uncomfortable.
All right, so 0 to 100, the intensity of those symptoms.
This wasn't nearly as bad as the first thing. 50.
Okay. And distress. So your SUDS for that one.
I mean, I don't know. 25 maybe.
Okay. All right, so those were breathing ones. We're gonna do just a couple physical exercise ones. So the next one that we're going to do is for 2 minutes. We're gonna run quickly on the spot, and we're gonna lift our knees high.
For 2 minutes?
Or until the sensations are, you know, that you can experience them.
Yeah, it's not going to take 2 minutes. I don't think I can do this for one. Like, you're talking like
Kind of like,
knee ups. Yeah, no.
okay. So let's go ahead. Whenever you're ready, we can get started.
Okay.
Go.
Yeah, I'm all ready.
Okay. Let's at least go for 30 seconds to see where that affects, okay? Okay, 30 seconds. So in that time, what did you experience?
Heart's up, like itchy. Start feeling like I'm floating again.
Okay.
Like I'm like coming out of myself.
Okay. This one seemed like it hit you a bit harder.
Yeah. I just,
So coming out of yourself like that derealization or that
yeah.
So intensity of this one.
Like 90, 8.
Okay.
I guess there's always higher you can go, but like I don't like that
Okay.
at all.
So skin on fire again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, just like this is always what happened to me before. Like, you know, I'm in the plane, I thought I was dying. I can't.
Okay, you're not catching your breath. Okay.
I used to be able to do this forever. Like, you know, I'd jump rope for an hour every day. I mean, not, you know, all together,
but. Okay. So similar distress.
I mean, it's like you keep telling me it's not going to hurt you, so 70.
Okay.
I find it very uncomfortable.
Okay. Great. So the next one we're going to do is we're going to, and you tell me if this one with your neck you're able to do. Okay. So we're going to do where we're going to tense up our whole body. And usually with that, I say like be the mushroom head. So we're going to
I mean,
like scrunch.
I think I'm okay.
Okay, so we're going to do that for a minute to try to tense all of our body parts for a minute.
Is that right for water? Like just...
Yeah, let's come down. Let's make sure you're at a good place to start the next exercise. This one hit you hard, huh?
Yeah, still just, I don't know, it's weird. It's like you're being pulled out of your body, like just, it takes a minute to come back together. I know that's dumb, like it's not how your body works, but that's the best way I can describe it.
But you're starting to say too that you know now, like rationally, that this isn't going to hurt you.
Yeah.
It's uncomfortable, right? You don't like it.
Yeah.
And so this is where repeated exposures, you know, we'll look through at the end of the exercises, just like we did with the in vivo exposures, and start at a moderate level and have you experience them again and again, just like the movies. So that, yeah, it might be physically, like the intensity is still there, but it's not as bothersome. It's like, yes, my body does this and I don't have to like it, but I don't have to be fearful of it. Does that?
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be great if like my skin wouldn't do this, but like, I get it.
And we're getting the body system going, right? That's the exact purpose of the interoceptive, is to get the physiological sensations heightened. To notice too, like we can make these symptoms happen in our bodies.
Yeah.
Without there's no saber-toothed tiger that I've seen.
I mean, you might have one later. I
We
don't
might
know
have,
what else you have.
but as of right now, there's none here.
Yeah.
And so we're making these sensations happen. Are you okay to move forward?
Yeah, I mean, my heart's
Okay.
still up, but it's not that bad.
All right. And so we're going to tense, all of our body muscles, not to the point where you hurt yourself, but, like feet and arms and all of that.
So you're just trying to be tight everywhere.
That tightness, that tension that sometimes people feel with panic.
Okay.
Okay? So we'll try to do this one for a minute. And if you want to scrunch your face and your arms and your legs. Again, not to the point we don't want to hurt ourselves, just to have that tense sensation. Good, and make sure you're breathing. Okay, and release. Ugh, I get hot and just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. What sensations were you experiencing?
It was hard to breathe in, like that's something I always pay attention to, and lifting weights, like when I straining really hard, I forget to breathe.
Okay. So maybe that has one of the similarities with panic that's made you maybe avoid.
Yeah,
Okay. So hard to breathe in.
yeah. I mean, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't nearly as bad as the running. You know, it was uncomfortable, but
Right.
it wasn't really that scary.
Okay, so 0 to 100 intensity of the sensations of the hard to breathe and uncomfortable.
20,
Okay. And distress?
5.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't like it, but it wasn't overwhelming at all.
All right. Okay, so the next one is going to be, the next couple we're going to do are related to spinning and shaking.
Okay.
And so what I'm going to do for a minute is spin you in your chair about, one spin for every second. So I'm going to do that for a minute.
Okay. Are we gonna hit each other?
No, I can spin, if you want to do it together, we can spin ourselves or I can spin you.
Oh,
What's gonna be
yeah.
helpful?
I can do it.
Okay.
So you can suffer too.
So I will happily suffer with you. Okay, so you tell me when you're ready. And let me take a step back. Eyes open. We want you to keep your eyes open.
Well, it's good you
breathe,
specify.
and
Yeah, I was definitely going to shut my eyes.
Okay.
Okay.
So keep breathing. Eyes. We'll do 1 minute.
Okay.
You ready?
Yeah.
Go. Just keep going. You need to take a break? Okay. Okay, pretty strong sensations, huh?
Yeah, I don't want to do that again.
Okay, so tell me what you're experiencing.
I'm about to vomit.
Okay. Do you need me to get the trash can?
No,
Okay. So you feel like nauseated? Okay. And I know I'm feeling especially dizzy.
Oh.
Is your heart rate up?
Yeah.
I'm starting to sweat a little bit. Yeah, you sound like you're kind of out of breath. Okay. And if you feel like you're gonna pass out, you can put your head between your knees.
Just feels awful. I don't think I'm gonna pass out.
Just pretty intense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
So what would you rate your intensity of symptoms?
100.
Okay, so this one hits just, okay. And how distressing is this one?
It's 90.
Okay.
Maybe more. I don't know.
Okay, so do you have the unreality as well with this one?
Yeah.
Okay.
At one point, it's like it just seems like you're watching this happen to somebody else.
Just that out of body, like that derealization.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so just. I hate this. This is not good.
Just very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Mhm. And this is, again, it's this idea that our body has hiccups, and as uncomfortable as some of the sensations are, we can make them happen ourselves. And if we can make them happen ourselves just by spinning in a chair, and getting to the point where you can see that as you're letting yourself kind of calm down and not overly reacting to the sensations, they're still uncomfortable, very uncomfortable, right? But it doesn't mean you're in danger or that you need to escape.
Yeah.
This one was a doozy for you, huh?
Yeah, it's not a good pitch for your services. For the general. Hey, we're gonna make you feel awful, and then bring you in to do it some more.
I think I gave you the CBT anxiety tagline of invest in anxiety now for a calmer future.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it does. I think in one of your homeworks you put like, this is gonna suck, but do it anyway, right?
Yeah.
And this is kind of what it is here too. Okay. Are you kind of coming back down now?
Mostly.
Okay.
It's like it's brighter now.
Okay, not just that.
Dark before.
Okay.
Even as a kid was like that. You know, my brother loved to go on roller coasters and stuff, and like I never understood why people like that. It just feels horrible.
So even as a kid, you were vulnerable to some of these sensations as well.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, let me model the next one for you.
It's not like that, is it? We're not spinning again.
This one, no, we're not spinning again. This is shaking our head, not quickly, but from side to side, and then look, and after 30 seconds of that, looking straight ahead. So what that looks like is...
Just turn and look.
Yeah, just turn and look slowly, and then at the end of 30 seconds, we'll look straight ahead.
All right.
Okay? You okay?
I just feel queasy again. This is not super easy for my neck either.
Okay. If we need to stop, let me know.
Keep trying.
Okay, let's look straight ahead.
Just right at each other.
I'll look at the wall, you can look at the other wall.
Very comfortable.
So what sensation?
It's just like a milder version of the same stuff.
Okay, minor version of the spinning for you.
Yeah, the queasy, kind of nauseous.
Okay. So how intense were these sensations for you?
They weren't nearly as bad. 25-ish.
Okay. And how distressing were they?
Well, I mean, right after the other thing, kind of a lot, but not, not anywhere close.
Okay, so where would you rate that?
40, maybe.
Okay. All right.
No, that's not true. It wasn't that bad. Maybe 30.
Okay. All right, so I want to do a couple different ones before we do one that's more of a head rush, just to kind of settle things down a little bit. Okay, the next ones are related to experiencing this unreality. These are ones that have been, tend to evoke that in people. So what I'd like you to do is that for a minute, I want you to stare at yourself in the mirror. I tend to tell people to concentrate like on your nose without blinking.
For a minute?
For a minute.
I don't know if I can do that.
Why is that?
I mean, I don't know if it's physically possible.
Oh. But I mean, stare. I mean, if you have to blink, but just try not to.
Okay.
Okay? I'll give that to you. And we'll start.
I do not look good after spinning.
So let's try not to distract with any faces. Just stare at your nose. Just try to go as long as you can without blinking. symptoms, or what are you feeling?
I mean, it tastes the same as like when my mouth dries out. It's like I can't go more than 3 seconds without blinking. And I can't hold the mirror steady and it shakes. It makes me all like queasy.
Okay. Do you have like a mirror in your bathroom at home or a place?
Yeah.
Okay. Because
Yeah, it's the bathroom.
I don't want to assume, okay? Like, but then that can be helpful instead of holding it. Just having a mirror that you can stare into. You know, if this one's going to be one of your homeworks, so that you said your mouth dry.
With my eyes too. It's just like it's the same sensation. It happens when you get worked up.
Okay. So intensity of symptoms.
I don't know, 30,
Okay. And distress.
25.
Okay. All right. And so the next one I'm going to do,
Do you want?
oh, thank you, is have you, similar to it, just to give you different ways of evoking unreality, because that one's similar, that one's come up in every time you've had
Yeah.
panic sensations. I want you to stare, pick a point on the wall,
Yeah.
and just stare at that for 30 seconds as well, without blinking.
Okay. So I might need my hands for not blinking.
I'm sorry?
I might need my hands to hold my eyes open.
Okay, well, just see how you can do. So pick that spot on the wall, and we'll go ahead. Okay, how was that one?
I don't like that.
Is that different from the mirror for you?
Yeah. No, it's like less nauseous and more just, I don't know, perception was weird.
Okay.
I guess we don't hold our faces still very much. It's just strange.
Oh, when you were kind of staring in the mirror?
Or no,
versus-
like just now, it's like
Oh, just
usually
kinda-
you don't stare at a point like that. It just
Mhm.
everything around it got like,
That unreality.
yeah, or ish. It wasn't
Okay.
as bad as when we were spinning, but like that.
Okay, and intensity?
40,
Okay. And distress?
45.
Okay. With some of the exercises that we did, have you gotten the sense of unreality that you've experienced? Okay.
Yeah, no, we were spinning like you know, thought I was being torn out of my body.
Okay. I was going to say, I have another exercise if these didn't tap into it, but it sounds like we have already.
Yeah.
Okay. So then the next one, the last one I'm going to do is to get this feeling of a head rush. And so what we'll do is we're going to put our head between our legs for a minute. So just kind of bending over like this.
Yeah.
And then after a minute, we're going to slowly sit up and have all the blood rush to our head. Okay?
Okay. I'm kind of given to falling if I stand up too fast. If I fall
Like
on the
with-
floor, don't worry about it too bad.
Okay, well, we're not going to stand up.
Yeah.
When you sit up, just you have this on the back, okay?
Okay.
And if you do experience like you're going to fall out, just put your head back between your legs.
Tuck and roll.
Because again, we want to be safe about it. We're just trying to get the sensation. The goal isn't to try to harm you,
Okay.
okay? So let's try this one. So head between your legs. And just remember to breathe. Breathe in and breathe out. Okay, I want you to slowly bring yourself back up. Maybe take a second to collect yourself and tell me what sensations you're experiencing. Because it looks like this one hit you pretty hard too.
It's just same stuff. It's like dizzy, distant.
Okay.
It just feels like I'm being sucked out of my own body. It's hard to get a breath.
Okay.
And then like the skin
And
starts,
the skin crawling
like,
again.
can breathe again and then catch fire.
Okay. And so what are the intensity of the symptoms you experienced?
60.
Okay. And how distressing?
More, maybe 75.
Okay.
It just feels so weak when this happens. It's like you turn into lead, you know, just.
Well, and if you think about it too, like in a true fear situation where the fight, flight, freeze is activated, all of the body systems are going, are fully charged. And then it kind of leads to that, that recharging, that just totally feeling just
Crash.
exhausted.
Yeah,
That adrenaline crash, right?
that's what I feel like. Like I could just lay down in your floor and go to sleep right now.
Okay. That's probably not the best idea.
I don't know. You said you had time.
Well, we need to be able to get you to the point where you can go back to work, right?
Yeah.
Knowing that this does take a toll on our bodies, right? Even I feel a little bit depleted right now.
Yeah, I hope you don't have another one of these crazy people like me today. You're really not gonna like it.
It should be fine. So I want to go through the different activities that we did and kind of rank them in order of similarity to what you experienced in your panic. Okay, so it looks like things that were very distressing to you. The highest was the spinning.
Yeah, that was not
Really?
good.
Okay. Second was the head rush.
Yeah.
Then we had the physical running with the knees high at a 70. And then staring at the blank wall was a 45. And then holding breath and the mirror were 25. And then we had some that didn't really seem related to panic, the breathing through the straw and the tensing the body muscles.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to cross those out as, they evoke some physiological sensations, but they're not like your real panic.
No, they didn't. They didn't feel like that at all.
Okay. All right. So similar to the in vivo exposure, we want to start with something that's moderately difficult, but that is doable to have you practice to get towards habituation. And if you remember that kind of graph we drew about that, it's not that the intensity of sensations are necessarily going to change, but it's your distress related to the sensations is what we're targeting.
Yeah.
Does that resonate for you? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So at the lower end, we have the staring at yourself in the mirror and the holding your breath, distress about a 25.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good place to start, or do you say that's
Well,
not
this
really
is
a
better
big deal?
than spinning around, that's for
Okay.
sure.
Well, and since those are a 25, we could certainly start with one of those, or the next one up would be staring at the blank wall, the over breathing that you rated as a 40.
Yeah, I could do either of those, both of those.
Okay, so maybe let's plan that so that we start you at kind of a lower end, but then also have a moderate one as as your homework for the interoceptive as well.
Okay.
Okay.
We were writing this down, so I'm not actually
Yeah,
following all of it at
yes.
this point.
So you have the 2 sheets that I gave you. You have the regular panic attack form, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the in vivo exposure form.
Mhm.
And you've done that one before. You've done the panic one repeatedly. This is only going to be the new one.
Okay.
Okay. And so with the exposure monitoring form here, and so I'm going to write down the 2 different ones here. So we have the one situation. You pick. Do you want the staring in a mirror or do you want the holding your breath?
The mirror is easy.
Okay. Well, and that makes sense too if the second one's going to be the over breathing.
Yeah.
So we're going to do the staring in the mirror. And just like the other ones, you're going to have the date and time, your initial SUDS level, your initial fear, okay?
Before you started?
Before you start. So if we were to do this one right now, what would it be?
It's a bad time to ask.
Right. After we've gone you through all of the physiological arousal, right?
35, 40.
Okay. So you do 35 or 40, and then these would be at the end, how long it took, and fear level at the end. But just like before, what emotions and feelings do you have about the exposure? So what are your anticipations? What are your expectations? Just like you've done with things before.
Yeah.
And so this could be, I feel fear that I'm going to have a, out-of-body experience or whatever. What anxious thoughts, predictions, assumptions do you have? So really, what do you expect will happen? Like for some people, it might be, I expect I'm going to pass out, or I'm not going to be able to do it, or that it'll be super uncomfortable, but if I stick with it, it will be okay. So we're going to test some of these thoughts and assumptions.
Yeah.
What evidence do I have that my fearful thoughts are true? Well, it really sucked in the practice exercises in session, so I don't expect it will be better. And then after the exposure, what was the outcome of the practice? What actually happened? Okay. What evidence did you gain from the practice, if you will?
Okay. It's just mini study, more or less.
That's a great way to think about it. These are many studies within the exposure. And so what this is going to look like is a bit different. So we did exercises in here just to see which ones were more related to your physiological sensations.
Well, I'm glad that's why we had that in mind. We went through all that for a pilot test.
Yeah, it was a pilot test, right? Because with this one, the breathing through a straw, you could do that all day and it wouldn't be helpful related to information about your panic sensations, right? So that's why we did that. So it actually was important.
Yeah.
And so now we're able to come up with a hierarchy of the interoceptives here. So
Sorry.
that's no need to apologize. So the staring in the mirror, in our practice we did it for a minute. For this, what you're going to do is to let's do every 30 seconds for this. You're going to rate your distress, not the intensity of your physiological sensations, okay? Because we expect the intensity to, especially over time, maybe increase or stay the same. What we're trying to target is your fear or distress related to them. Okay? So.
Every 30 seconds?
Yep, and I'm writing that down for this one. And with this, if we talk about the habituation curve, from where you start, and like you said, right now, I think you said it would be like a 40.
Yeah.
Okay. So as you stare at the wall, having a timer or having your stopwatch for 30 seconds, rate it. If it goes up, great. If it goes down, great. But what we want to see is that over time, that you stick with this experience until the sensations go down by half.
Half?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. And so we're actually going to practice that first one in session here today.
Again?
Well, so that you actually understand what the exposure is, not just the exercise. Okay? And this is why we planned for extra time in today's session for that.
Yeah, just I'm worn out today.
Mm-hmm. And that's fair. It's pretty depleting.
Yeah.
Okay. So right now, what's your distress level?
40-ish.
Okay.
I'm not, I've had it.
So you're just drained.
Yeah.
Are you willing to try this today?
No, I'll try it. Just like it's the right process. Just
Okay.
feel awful.
Okay. And what anxious thoughts or predictions do you have about doing this?
It'll be worse than I think. It's like I'm so beat up and just over it. Like won't be able to do it.
And what do you mean you won't be able to do it?
I mean, like it won't get better. It'll
Okay.
just continue to get worse.
Okay. And what evidence do you have that these thoughts are true?
I mean, it's kind of the way it works a lot of times. Once you get overwhelmed, like it's real easy to have it just perpetuate. You know, feeling sick and panicked, and then everything after that is way worse as a result. And I ran out of water, so, you know.
Would this be a safety behavior for this one?
No, not really.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't feel all dry and
Okay.
gross before.
All right, well, let's try this one then. Okay, let's test these thoughts. Okay, so right now you're at a 40.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll stare at the wall with you.
Oh, I thought we were doing a mirror.
Oh, sorry, you are correct. Do you want me to hold it or do you want to hold it?
I can do it.
Okay. All right, so I will time it, and every 30 seconds, I'm just going to ask you for your suds.
All right.
Okay, and again, try to stare at it without blinking, and focus on your nose. Go. And what's your suds?
Same with 40.
Okay. And just do your best not to blink.
I think that's the worst. It's pissing me off. I can't do it.
You're doing fine. And what's your distress?
It's still about the same.
Okay. Just breathe and just focus on your nose. Distress?
Maybe like 35-ish.
Okay. Distress?
I don't know, like 20. It's starting to get kind of boring.
Okay. Let's keep going.
Irritating more than boring.
Distress?
10.
distress?
Oh, like 5.
Okay. Do you remember what your distress was when you started?
Yeah, 40.
Okay. Even with you being depleted, even with you being so exhausted, and what was your prediction?
I don't even remember.
It'll be worse than I think. I won't be able to do it. It will get worse.
Yeah.
Evidence that you had, the kind of way, it's always been, it works. It's easy to perpetuate every time. Everything often is way worse, and you ran out of water. So that's why you thought, what actually happened?
I mean, at first it's aversive, but like after a while it's just annoying. It wasn't really like, it didn't make me sick or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to hold the mirror steady this time too. It wasn't as bad
Okay.
before when it was like, you know, shaking.
So you didn't get sick.
Mm-mm.
Were the sensations still there?
Some, yeah, not as bad, I guess.
Okay. And even though for 3.5 minutes you stared at that, you didn't avoid.
No, well, I mean, I blink all the time. I'm learning that I can't not blink. But yeah,
Okay. So what evidence did you gain from this practice?
it's probably not as bad as I think. That's your whole point, I guess, is do the stuff that sucks so you can get better at it.
Okay. And how accurate were your original thoughts about?
They weren't.
Okay.
Still feel awful, but you know, it's like it's easy to think negatively that way.
And I'm not trying to convince you you're going to feel better physiologically, those feelings, those sensations. It's the response to them, right? It's the prediction that you won't be able to do it, that it's going to get worse, when in fact, 40, 40, 40. So it hung on for a little while, but you kept going. And then it started to improve to the point where I even wrote down at the 5th time point here, kind of boring, or more irritating than boring.
Yeah.
Irritating does not suggest I need to escape and run away.
Oh, well, sometimes. But it's not that irritating.
Mm-hmm. And think about too, like, I know this is a contrived exercise, but how similar is this to you when you're in that kind of argument with or confrontation with your boss?
I don't know, a little, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so if you can realize that, okay, it's kind of irritating, but I don't need to escape, avoid, or maybe say things that you might not like to do,
Yeah.
that could be beneficial too.
Yeah.
Okay. So the rationale with interoceptive and these exposure exercises, does it make sense how the exposure is different from the exercises we did here?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're trying to make a whole curve, not 2 discrete points.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm going to give you more of the exposure monitoring forms, and I'm going to ask you to do the staring at the mirror again at home, because sometimes there's a difference between the setting in here that we're doing it and then in your real life, right?
Yeah.
So I want you to do this one until it's just boring for you. So this could be 2 times, it could be 15 times. It's whatever it needs for you to just get bored with this one.
Okay.
Does that make sense? And then each time you're going to do this, for the mirror one, 30-second increments of your distress. And you want to stay until distress decreases by half. If and only if you get to the point where you truly habituate to this one, then we can go to then you can go to the over breathing.
Okay.
Okay? But I don't want you to do that one unless this one is just boring and no longer an issue.
Okay.
So you can still get a gold star next week if you don't do the over breathing.
Good to know.
I just want to make sure that you have enough that if the staring gets you habituate right away, that you have a next step up to work on.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Okay. And with the over breathing, do that fast. Let's do that every 15 seconds. Rate that distress because that one pretty much amps up super quickly.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so I have these exposure monitoring forms. You have the panic attack records in case you have more panic attacks, right? And then you have the in vivo for your trip to Star Wars.
Yeah, that'll be easy at this point.
Okay. And what was the other one? The Star Wars and?
The homework, I don't know, I wrote it down. Oh, going to the gym.
Going to the gym. Okay. So, does that seem doable?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to make sure that I'm challenging you, but I'm not overwhelming you with homework either.
Yeah, no, this is all right.
Okay.
Be better than this.
All right, so how are you feeling now?
Still pretty awful.
Okay.
I need to go home.
Okay, just kind of depleted?
Yeah.
Okay. And sometimes it can help to get some food in your system too. But being able, and is going home just so you physically feel better, or are you escaping?
No, I'm just tired.
Okay.
I just want to lay down.
Okay.
And I mean, I'll eat. I'll be fine. It's just.
No, this takes a toll on the body. It's very taxing.
Yeah.
And so, in some ways, that's a great point as well. When you're doing some of these exercises, I would encourage you not to do it right before you plan to go to Star Wars.
Yeah, no,
Or
I'm not
not
gonna
before
mess up Star Wars.
Or
so.
not right before bedtime either.
Yep. No, nothing like that.
Okay. And so next time, we'll spend a good amount of time reviewing this and then figuring out what the next steps in the exposure hierarchies and potentially do a next interoceptive one in session.
Okay.
Okay?
Cool.
All right. Well, you did outstanding work today. So pat yourself on the back and know that you're doing awesome work.
Thanks.
Okay.
I'll see you next week.
Okay.